Hello, soul sister. It's been a while. I'm so happy to have a few minutes with you. Before I dive into where have I been and why there hasn't been an episode in a while, I just want to let you know what's coming. If you're stressing out about the holiday season and how to be with loved ones, family members, and the drama that you're trying to avoid, I've got some great information for you. If you're feeling yourself a little out of control when it comes to maybe your eating or self-care, which is the biggest thing that I'm going to talk to you about today, I've got some really important tips for you on how to fill up your reservoir so you're not depleted and in a desert and acting out in different ways. And if you are solo during the holidays, I have some really hot tips for you on how to really keep your reservoir full in the way that you can feel love and happy and in your joy no matter what. Hopefully, I have your attention. And if you're in a relationship, all of these things apply. And if you're dating, all of these things apply too. I just invite you to stay open to the fact that this holiday season, we know the holidays can pull up a lot of stuff, a lot of emotions, a lot of fears, a lot of doubts, a lot of inner critic stuff, a lot of I just want to hide under the covers and not leave my house. That's what today's episode is about. Before we go there, I just want to say, where has Junie Moon been? Well, my team and I were talking about a month or so ago, and I am so sorry. I wish I had jumped in here sooner. Let me just ask for your apology and your patience, and thank you for that right now, because I did kind of fall off the face of the earth, didn't I? I stopped doing my podcast temporarily. We were sitting down, my team and I, and we were projecting who we've recorded, who's coming up with our sessions, our episodes. And what we found after looking at it all was we have decided to do seasons, very specialized, beautiful, powerful seasons. And the next season will officially start early in 2024. And when I tell you I have a lineup for the hottest, amazing speakers from love and relationship experts that are just some of the leading people on this planet, as well as other topics that you need to learn so that you can have the best, most extraordinary second half of life. It's coming up early 2024. With that said, here we are in 2023. There's a thing to be said about the holidays, and I didn't want to just leave you hanging. So I wanted to let you know where I've been, why I haven't been here, and to thank you for your patience around not letting you know. And let's dive into today's episode because this is so huge. This is so huge. I am having to work all of my tools right now, as always with the holidays, because it seems like there's something on my calendar every single day that involves food. And what I know is I was 200 pounds and miserable over 20 years ago, and being around food and lots of it and yummy food in stressful situations was very challenging for me. That's why I used to eat a lot of food and be so big. I don't want to go back there. I want to feel great, body, mind, and spirit. So there are some things that are really important around food and self-care. And if food is not your thing, that's not your challenge, maybe just feeling happy and excited about today, tomorrow, this is for you. So I always say that it's really important to have insurance that you will be fine no matter what. Filling up your own cup so that when you do go into a stressful situation, like being with a family, at a family gathering, where you know there's some drama, where you know you might have potentially some awkward questions like, are you still with that person? You know, when are you breaking up with him? Are you still solo? Are you out online? How's that job? And maybe you're not happy with your career. You know what I'm talking about, those questions that sometimes can get under your skin. Well, how do you deal with those questions? That's next week's episode. I want to talk to you about how to prepare yourself before you get those questions. So definitely tune in for the next one. With that said, how do you take care of yourself so that no matter what comes your way, you're solid, you're grounded, you're strong, you're clear? If you're not eating well, let's just go right to the food right off the bat. If you're eating a lot of sugar and processed foods and eating more than you'd like, that's going to affect your blood sugar. That's going to affect how you feel, your energy, your sleep. If you're not sleeping well, quality sleep, and you're eating too much sugar, drinking too much alcohol, you are just not going to be the same person. Maybe your clothes aren't going to fit as well, and you're not going to be thrilled about that. And you're going to be uncomfortable wearing your clothes, or just uncomfortable between your ears about being out in the world, knowing that you're not the size that you'd like to be, and you're not feeling it in your body the way that feels the best. So being mindful of what you're eating is so important. It also affects your energy. If you're not eating well, sister, you're going to be more sluggish. You're going to be more tired. You're not going to be as clear thinking. So if those questions are coming, you're going to want to have your best head clear and be able to address what's coming your way. Meanwhile, before you get there, being mindful of what you put in your mouth is really important, because if you are sluggish and you're really out of it, you are going to eat more food, because that's the vicious cycle. We know that if you don't eat well, you tend to gravitate to more crappy food. So that's one thing that's really important, is what you're putting in your mouth. Another thing to consider for self-care, and this is also huge, and again, filling up your reservoir of good thinking and feeling great, is what are you listening to on podcasts? What are you watching on TV? What are you watching on YouTube? What are you reading in your email? What are you doing on social media? All of those things are going to influence, that was a weird way of saying influence. All those things are going to influence how you show up, how you feel. If you are watching a lot of the news, or you're swiping a lot on dating apps and going, or maybe putting yourself out there a lot on dating apps and not getting the results. Or perhaps you are on Facebook and it looks like everyone in the world is having a blast and has somebody to share the holidays with. How are you going to feel? Well, if you're taking really good care of yourself, you might just be like, oh, good for them. Oh, wow, I didn't know she was in a relationship. Oh, looks like everybody has plans tonight. Next tip coming around that. You'll just be able to flow more easily, right? But if you wake up in the morning, and I have been guilty of this, and I'm still working this muscle, I will be honest with you. If one of the first things you do, this is not one of the first things I do, but if one of the first things you do when you wake up in the morning is you go to Facebook and you start scrolling, what is that going to do for the rest of your day? I know it affects me, so I don't do it anymore, or mostly. Like I said, I'm still working that muscle. I'm being really transparent here. I do my very best to have a very strong morning ritual and practice, if you will, ritual practice, whatever word you want to use, before I do any of that stuff. And I tend to be on social media a bunch because of you guys, because I want to be commenting and connecting with you all. And I need to fill up my own reservoir. I need to fill up my heart with good stuff before I come to you. So what does that mean for me? I'm going to meditate, and maybe it's a guided meditation, inside meditation, or Mind Valley. They have free ones. You could check that out. And you're going to be just listening to some really good, positive, high vibe thoughts. And that's a great way to start your day. Maybe it's just meditating and listening to your breath and focusing on a mantra. And if you haven't meditated, just start with 5 minutes a day. This is a way to slow down, sister. Slow down, check in, and just breathe. And if you have monkey mind, and everybody does, especially if you're starting, you'll notice your thoughts going in lots of different ways. And that will also let you know how busy your mind is. And then if you bring it back to the breath or back to the guided meditation, you are then setting yourself up for more success during the day. So meditation is a really great tool. I do it almost every single day to get me ready. Then I get my butt outside and I take a walk. Unless it's raining, I don't like the rain. I like to listen to the rain. That's when I'll just go to the gym. But most of the time, I'm going to get out there and walk anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes. And guess what else I'm doing while I'm walking? Listening to something inspirational like Abraham Hicks or a really good podcast on dating and relationships that inspire me, people that inspire me. So getting outside, moving your body, getting into nature, getting into the woods, the forest, being with the trees and breathing. That's another way to fill up your reservoir, to have your body feel good, because now you're not just sitting on your ass and scrolling and doing the compare and despair of everybody's having fun and not you. Everybody has plans and not you. You are taking good care of yourself. So those are actually three things that are really important to do in the morning. Meditate, or maybe do some journaling. Just get that stuff out of your head. And with that said, meditation is just so good at focusing your breath and slowing your body systems down to relax. One of the nice way to do that also is to take a full breath in at a count of 4. Hold it for like a second and a half. Exhale to a count of 8, and then hold it at the bottom for a second and a half. If you just do that for 5 minutes, you will feel more relaxed. It actually resets your parasympathetic, that whole fight, flight kind of sympathetic. It's the reverse. It calms you down. So that's one thing you could do in the morning. So meditation to relax, journaling to get that stuff out of your head, moving your body in nature, getting fresh air and moving your body, meaning do some exercise. I'm not going to list all the things you could do. You know all the things that you can do. I just invite you to do it with love, to not be like, I've got to get on this treadmill, or I've got to run, or I've got to like lift heavy weights because I just had a big meal last night. Do not punish yourself. Be so kind and gentle to yourself, because that punishment is going to set you up for poor eating, sitting on your ass, watching lots of Netflix and numbing out. So by starting your day like this, or putting some of these pieces throughout the day of self-care, it's huge. And there's a saying, if you fail to plan, plan to fail. And so plan. Here's another big golden nugget here, all right, of deep self-care. Plan your food if you can. On Sundays, I typically go and get a whole bunch of my salads and my proteins, and I set myself up with a handful of meals throughout the week and maybe a big pot of soup. That reminds me, I didn't get my soup going yet. So set yourself up for success where you have really good, healthy food in the house, and avoid the shit. I don't have anything in my house right now that would be in the shit category where I'd be like, oh, I'm feeling sad. I need to have, no. I only have good quality food. So if I choose consciously to have something sweet, or maybe a little indulgence, like last night I was out with my mom and I had an onion soup, a French onion soup. Now, some of you might say that's not so bad, but it has a lot of salt, and it has some bread in it, which is white bread and gluten. Not typically how I eat. It was a little bit of an indulgence, but I knew throughout the day that I was eating really, really well, and I had some wiggle room for dinner. So planning your food is one thing. Now, I left the biggest thing last, which is planning what you're doing with your time. If it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night that you don't want to be alone, especially on the weekends, right? When everybody seems to be having fun and parties, I invite you to ask yourself, what do you want to do? How do you want to spend your Friday evening? Do you want to be with friends? Reach out to some friends, make it happen. Maybe you have a virtual party. Maybe not everybody is close by, or maybe not everybody wants to go out. Maybe it's too cold or it's rainy. Have a Zoom party, have a dance party, connect with your friends. If you would like to have connection. If you want to go on a date, then be proactive all week long on the apps. Be on Bumble. I have a nice hot date, my second date tonight. I'm so excited. And it's because I was like, I'm ready after taking some time to fill up my own cup after my last significant relationship, did my reflection, did some of my healing. I'm in a much better place now, and I'm much clearer about who I want in my life. I went on Bumble, met a really great guy. We shall see. And so when he asked me, what do I want, was I free tonight? I took a moment to ask myself, do I want to be out with him? Do I want to be home and just enjoy a movie by myself and order in some food? I invite you to take a beat and ask yourself, how do you want your nights to be? And if you're headed into a holiday night like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or a Friday, Saturday night, and you know yourself and you know that you don't want to be by yourself, then I really encourage you to plan something. Look at what's out there in the world. Now, here's the other thing. Solo dating is a thing. Date yourself. You may not want to be alone. However, you could be among lots of amazing people on your own. I sometimes go to the movies by myself. I went to see Killers of the Flower Moon, not a very light movie. However, I really wanted to see it. I went by myself. I actually had a nice little conversation with a couple that was across the way. You're never alone. You're never alone. You just need to ask yourself, what would you like to have happen? What would make you happy? Maybe you want to go dancing. Now, not everybody's comfortable going to a place and going dancing by themselves. I have to be in the mood, to be really honest. I love dancing, but sometimes I really don't want to go to a place by myself alone. And sometimes I really do decide I just want to kick my heels up and watch a great movie. So these are some ideas of what you can be doing if you don't have plans. But if you wait until 8 o'clock on a Friday night and you start scrolling through Facebook and you haven't made any plans, how are you going to feel? And what might happen if you feel like that? What's the next day going to feel like? It's a vicious cycle. So I'm really going to encourage you to deeply listen to what's going to bring you the most joy and then plan it out. So start your day off strong, meditate, move, be in nature, get out. Plan your food, have a clean house, and plan what's in your house for food as well. Music, forgot to mention music. I said when I walk, I listen to podcasts and other inspirational things. Music is so key. Music is so amazing. Have a playlist with some of the greatest musical songs that you absolutely love to listen to or dance to. Have your own dance party. It's another way to enjoy your morning or your walk. And don't keep yourself isolated. Reach out to people. This is sometimes a really tough time of year, and you don't have to do it alone. And if you're not in my Find Fabulous Love After 40 Facebook group, it's in the links. Definitely check it out. Be there. Lots of great women there, and you can feel the sense of a love hub, of a community. So that's my message for you today about radical self-care. It takes commitment. It takes focus. It takes you loving yourself so much to make it happen so that you don't end up sabotaging what could be a very powerful holiday season. And you want to set yourself up for a great new year. Our next episode that's coming up next week will be about how to handle the holidays with challenging situations with family members, or just your solo journey in the dating world. I will address both. Until we meet again, happy holidays. One more thing before you go. Have you taken my Discover Your Love Avatar quiz? It's a 2-minute quiz that can help you not only know your strengths, your superpower, because you have one, Also, identify some of your blind spots, some of the things that might be having you in your fear, having you behaving in ways that aren't in alignment with your highest self, the way you want to be when it comes to dating and relationships. And it'll also help you discover why maybe the stars haven't lined up for you yet. Bottom line is, you take this 2-minute quiz, you get a full report in your email with details on how to move forward in next level love, whether you want a partner or not. So you can go to midlifeloveoutloud.com/love quiz. The link is in the show notes as well. And if you haven't liked and subscribed to the station, I'm going to encourage you to do that too, so you don't miss any episodes. And I hope you got a ton out of today's. See you next week. Mwah.